that winding out of that engine, it's just, it's amazing. All right, let's do another point of view drive. This time with the camera adjusted a little bit. And today I want to talk about why I chose the AP1 S2000 as opposed to an AP2 S2000. That's always, I think, the question. If a person has a choice as to which S2000 to get, why would somebody choose an AP1? That's my perceived thought of it anyway. So let's talk about it. Did I do it because of the 9,000 RPM red line? Is that the only benefit? Well, the 9,000 RPM red line is definitely a factor, but I think it's a little bit deeper than that. So the AP2 S2000 is a more refined version of the S2K. The AP1 it's a little bit more raw in my opinion, and I think factually too. It doesn't have the driving aids that the AP2 has, and the way the suspension is set up, and the steering ratio, it equates to bump oversteer. If you're if you ever get behind the wheel, you'll notice that it can be a little finicky in the rear end. Let me get an acceleration going because I'm at a good spot here. Here we go. It never gets old. It never gets old. I love doing acceleration runs. Of course, you know, I didn't want to cut that BMW off, but anyway, the AP2 is a car that has had time to be refined over the course of the S2000's lifestyle. As time went on, the engineers got better and better and made improvements. My personal opinion is the AP1 is what the car was always supposed to be. Uncompromised, rear-wheel drive, high revving, with its heritage derived from Formula One. It's not like, or it's unlike anything else that you could have got back then or even today. And this version, this flavor of it, is the most pure form. So that is, in short, why I chose the AP1 over the AP2, because it was a choice for me. Initially, I wanted an AP2, but as I started thinking about what I wanted in my my project car or my toy car, this just made more sense because I'm not getting this car to daily drive it. I'm getting it as something that I can truthfully enjoy. Manual transmission, rear wheel drive. I can wind it out. I don't plan on doing power mods to it. See, before this, I had a C7 Z06, and to the crank that makes 650 horsepower, and I had some mods to it, right? Had all the power you could ever want. And with power, I find myself getting used to it and then always wanting more. That happened in my WRX STI. I mean, it happened in basically every car as I was kind of getting more and more into cars and driving. So I don't plan on doing power mods of this. Maybe I'll do things for sound, maybe. That's a definite maybe. But I'm done with power. That's not my angle. And so that kind of helped me with my decision, because some will say because the 2.2 liter, I mean, it's facts, right? The 2.2 liter engine, that extra displacement, it creates more torque. And if you're daily driving it, or if you're driving it a lot, you're gonna want that extra torque as you get through traffic, or as you go around traffic. I don't need it. I'm not at a place in my life where I need that torque to sacrifice the red line, right? After 8,000 RPM in this car, we know that it doesn't make power, but for me, that driving experience, that visceral experience that you get from that, just having it on the table is not, you can't put a price on it. I was, you know, even outside the AP2, I was considering a few cars. I was considering this, a 2006 to 2009 Porsche Cayman S, the new BRZ and GR86, and of course the two S2000s, AP1, AP2. Those were my really main cars. The key thing in all of them is manual transmission, rear-wheel drive. And I ended up with an AP1, a lower mileage AP1, 31,000 miles, a good example. And I couldn't be more happy with the choice, with what I ended up with. Now, is this better than the AP2 in my opinion? Well, for me and where I'm at in life, it is better. Again, everything else I just explained, it stands with my position and where I'm trying to go with my car experiences. I've owned both a BRZ and an FRS, and though the new GR86 and the new BRZ are mechanically better, if I would have got one of those, then it's like this would have been my third one in that platform. Again, newer, yes, better engine, addressed a lot of the issues like the torque dip, but I never owned an S2000, and I would have been kicking myself. Years ago when I had my STI, before I bought the BRZ, I was looking for a daily, and I went to go test drive an S2000. It was a 2009. I should have bought it then, but I figured, well, I can get a new car with a warranty for the same price. Basically, I paid what, like $27,000 for my BRZ, and that S2000 was like $25,000. So I went with the BRZ, and I had been kicking myself ever since. Oh, look, there's a BRZ over there. There's two. Very nice. And I didn't want to make that same mistake. S2000 it's a legendary car for a reason. And it's becoming more and more legendary. Let's get an acceleration going here. Just that winding out of that engine, it's amazing. I don't want more power. I don't need more power. I came from a C7 Z06. Before that, a C7 Corvette. Before that, an STI, right? So I've had the power. This driving experience is unlike anything else. And shortening that red line for more torque, even if it's with a better transmission, with a better differential, with a better interior. Yeah, I mean, this is the AP2 center console, and I'm gonna do the AP2 door panels for more space. But those things for the driving experience, the soul of the car is not there. It's just not there in the AP2. Not like this. Yes, I mean, the AP2 is still a special car. Yes, I would even get one. I would like both, honestly. And I don't hate the AP2. I actually love the AP2 like I love this. But if I had to choose one, I chose this because of the driving engagement experience. I like not having all those driving aids. I really do. We gotta go again. There's just something special about this. You know, having owned an RX-8 before, that car redlines at $9 grand too, and it's very similar. It's like, it drives like a bigger S2000. I would say the steering feel is a little bit better. This steering is kind of, it's a little vague, not the best because it's electronic, but that was the second car I owned, my RX-8, and I never, like, ever since I got rid of it, I've always missed it. I've always missed the feel of being able to wind out a motor. And this does that, but better and more reliably. I mean, the RX-8 was very smooth, don't get me wrong, and I would get another one in a heartbeat, an R3 probably, but this just, it is a pure driver's car. It's uncompromised. If it's not your daily, it's not your main car, this just makes sense. So the saying, right, the AP2 is the better car, but the AP1 is the better S2000. I interpret that as AP2 has better creature comforts, the driving aids, the reliability slightly, but the AP1 has the soul of what this car was intended to be, uncompromised. It's a lot less safe, but to me, I kind of appreciate the raw form, the raw nature. And that's why it's the better S2000. The essence of what it was created to be is upheld here. Now, having better parts don't always mean better car. Having better doesn't always mean actually better. It's that spirit. That's what I'm chasing, and that's just my opinion, right? I think I would be outnumbered in saying that the majority of people, or I should say the majority of people, I believe, like the AP2 as opposed to the AP1. And I can see why, and I understand why. But my opinion, based on cars that I've owned and where I'm at, AP1 is it for me. I do think that all S2000s are going to continue to rise in value. We might see a small dip because of inflation, but as they become more and more rare and become abused, you'll see a lot of them modified. A pristine example like this here is going to climb in price. Again, a few reasons. There will be less clean examples, and Formula One is growing in popularity, and when people recognize the Formula One heritage that this car has, I think the prices are going to shoot up. So my plan here is to keep this one very OEM looking, slight mods, like I just did my wheels, I did these seats, I'm going to do the door panels, but it's all OEM stuff minus the wheels, and I'm going to keep the stock wheels so I can throw them back on, and I might buy a set of AP2 wheels just to have. But yeah, that's my take. Either way, you can't go wrong. If you have an S2000, you just can't go wrong. They don't make them like this anymore. Even the GR86 and BRZ, they're not the same. They're really not. Wonderful cars, and I love them too. I love drivers' cars. I'm not brand agnostic. I enjoy these cars, especially if it's manual transmission. Put me in it, I'll take it. It's the art of driving, that's what matters. And the tool that you have, you know, I don't think there's a right or wrong tool. Get in it, get in the car, learn it, understand what's good about it, understand what's bad about it, grow from it, move on when you're ready. But yeah, I'm not particularly loyal to any car brand. I like all manufacturers, anyway, the ones that I've owned anyway, and I try to find the good in the cars. And even the bad, I try to learn how that can make me a better driver. I'm always trying to learn that. But anyway, this will be the end of this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate you taking the time to watch. Go ahead and share your opinion on what you think about the S2000. All glory to God, and God bless you all. I'm out.